back to the video. Next, let's talk about software. That is the essential operating system that we interact with. So it's really important for the software to be polished. So software either makes or breaks the experience. We got Android and iOS, which are great but very different right now. When talking about iOS, it's stable, it's got no lags, and it's full of optimization thanks to their own chipsets that Apple provide in the iPhones. But here's the bummer. You don't get any customization with iPhone. I mean, iPhone just started dropping out features that Android did like years ago. So yeah, if you want the customization, you gotta chip in for Android. So coming to the Android, we got a lot of brands right now. I just be grouping them up so it's going to be easy for you. So first we got Redmi, Realme and Poco. All three of them on the same bunch. You see, these are powerhouses for ads. So yeah, in terms of software, I'm not a fan of these brands. Well, coming on to the next one, Vivo, Oppo, and iQOO. They do have some ads here and there. We got third-party ads in all of these brands up until now. This one's kind of in the middle area. And then there's OnePlus. We used to love Oxygen OS when it first came out. But right now, it's kind of moving towards the Oppo and the Realme area. But yeah, in terms of software, Oxygen OS is still great to use. And there's also nothing which is completely unique. In terms of software, I do prefer nothing out of all of the brands right now. In terms of software, nothing's really got the heads. It's got zero third-party apps, zero bloatware or any ads right now. Well, the only bummer is the customization. And it's only starting to roll out all these new customization features. And in terms of AI, it's got nothing. There's no AI features right now for nothing phones. I'm pretty sure the brand's working on it, so you just need to give it some time. Well, coming to Samsung though, this brand is in a league of its own. With this new One UI, Samsung does rival Apple. But in terms of AI features though, it left Apple in the dust. So I'm pretty sure you guys will be happy with Samsung's One UI as well. Now coming to Motorola, well, Moto's improved a lot. Be it AI features or the UI as well, it's gotten really good. But the only problem is Moto's track record. You see, Moto does promise 7 years of updates or 5 years of updates for the phones right now, but there's no proven track record of its updates. And yeah, Moto's updates are generally pushed out really slow. So I don't know, if Moto does pump out updates frequently and as well as the security updates, it's a good choice as well. Now, coming to the Messiah, the king, Google. Yeah, Google is literally the king of software. So with the release of the new Pixel 10, which is all about AI, Google really did beat all the brands out of the competition. So if you want pure stock Android with excellent AI features, I'll prefer Google over everything else. And there's also this need for major OS updates. Well, right now, brands keep providing 5 years or even heck 7 years of major OS updates. So try to get at least a minimum of 3 to 4 years of major OS updates on your phone. Because trust me, you don't want to keep changing your phone often. And as for nothing, yeah, like I said, it's got the better user experience. I mean, the devs are listening to the audience feedback and they do keep improving. So yeah, we just need to give nothing a bit more time. Coming to the AI though, like I said, Google Pixel is the king. And as for Samsung, well, it's definitely beaten Apple in terms of AI features. Okay, so moving on to the battery. Battery is really important for phones, blah blah blah. I'm not going to say that. Well, the minimum battery for phones should be around 5000 mAh right now. With the introduction of the new silicon carbon battery, things have completely changed the smartphone world. Thanks to the silicon carbon battery, which has replaced the lithium ion battery, they don't take up a lot of space in return for providing massive battery capacities as well. Yeah, they do way less and they provide more power. So they're basically pretty efficient. There are phones like the OnePlus 13s. It's just a 6.3-inch phone, but it's got a massive 5850 mAh. But what's the weight? Try guessing it. It's just 185 grams for a 5850 mAh battery and just 6.3 inches. So enough about batteries. Let's talk about charging. Well, 33 watts is like the base for charging. If it's up to 120 watts of fast charging, although I wouldn't recommend that because well, there have been studies that super fast charging around like 120 watts charging, it tends to burn up your battery life. So it's not good for the long run. So I recommend a minimum of 33 watts. Max up to 45 or 68 watts like Moto, that's enough. You don't need to go more than that. As for wireless charging, for phones about 25 or 30K, you should expect wireless charging support as well. Well, for example, the Pixel did get its new Pixel Snap right now, which is basically the MagSafe from iPhone that supports 15 watts of charging. Moving on to the builds. Well, you're going to like two options. You either got a glass back or a plastic back. Well, first I prefer plastic more than anything. Well, that's because you do get a glossy or a matte finish with the plastic backs. The reason why glass bags aren't being used much on cheaper phones is because glass bags do weigh a lot, and when you drop the phone, the glass does get destroyed, In the end, moving on to the price. After all, this is why you're watching the video, aren't you? All I want to get say is don't get ripped off by brands. Like the Nothing Phone 3, when it launched, it was around 80,000 rupees, which definitely doesn't justify the things that it offers. Around the time I'm shooting this video, you can get the Nothing Phone for around 46,000 with all those bank offers and stuff. Well, for that price, I'll recommend the Nothing Phone with the 8 Gen 4 processor. And there's also Samsung with Exynos processors that cost even more than 50,000 rupees. I don't blame you for going for Samsung. It's got a good one UI, it's got good cameras, and well, it's got better software. Yeah, you don't get all those broadcasts and third-party apps. But when coming to the processor, I'll definitely warn you if you're going for Exynos processors. For that price, Snapdragon processors are more justified. So just think before buying any Exynos phones right now. Well, at the 15,000 budget, you should be expecting a 120 or 90 Hz display with an LCD or an AMOLED display. Well, it is around a 15K budget, so LCD panels are acceptable at that range, We can expect the Snapdragon 6 Gen 4 processor or Snapdragon 7th generation processors, as well as the Dimensity 7300 above the 15K range. Coming on to the cameras though, at the 15K, you will be getting triple camera setup. Well, one will be for the main primary camera, the other will be either a macro camera, which is totally useless. I don't see why brands still throw out the triple camera setup with a macro in it. And the other is usually the ultra wide camera. Around the 15K, this should be your usual norm. Yeah, as with the battery, well, you should expect between 5,000 to 6,000 mAh battery with more than 20 watts of charging. So, if you move your budget up to like the 20K segment and above that, you should expect 120 Hz or more than that, along with an AMOLED screen. Well, the cameras are typically the same, but some phones do offer a telephoto lens at this range, so look out for those as well. Coming to the processors though, you should expect the Snapdragon 7th Gen 3 or more than that. Around the 25K budget is the Snapdragon 8th Gen 3, nothing less than that. And coming to the Dimensity, it should be around the Dimensity 8300 or somewhere around that. For the camera though, you should definitely have a primary, a telephoto lens or periscope, as well as an ultra-wide lens. These three are really important at that range, And also, you don't need to look for the megapixels. It doesn't mean more megapixels mean the better. iPhone and Google are still working out with the 12 megapixel camera, and I'm pretty sure you know how the performance looks like in terms of photos. You should also look for UFS 4.0 or 3.1 storage. Coming to the RAM, it should be LPDDR5 or 5X at the very least. So, hyping up your budget to 30 or 40K, well, it's got to be the Snapdragon 8 Elite above 40,000. There's no compromises for that. You can go for the Dimensity as well, but I'll honestly prefer the Snapdragon over anything else. Well, that's all for the guide. So I hope you guys at least got an idea on what you need to look for when you're looking for phones in the sale right now. This is Avinash signing off. See you guys on my next video. Adios.